And good morning. Welcome to Senior Circuit. We're so glad to have you here. We're with Mike Anzalone, Captain of the Somerville Fire Department, one of our finest. Captain Anzalone, thank you so much for being here again. We certainly appreciate you coming back on the show. We have some really great information that we want to share. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Captain in the fire department.
Yes.
That's a great deal.
Good morning, Cindy. Nice
Good
to
morning.
see you again.
Thank
Happy
you.
St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
I forgot my green.
Yeah, I have something here maybe. I have 21 years with the Somerville Fire Department now, Captain Tower 1, formerly Fire Prevention Bureau for a couple of years. Been with the department for over 20. Member of the SAFE program. We just started our senior SAFE program now, so we're here to protect our seniors in the city. Good to see you working with the Council of Agents. Always good.
Thank you. And how did you get involved with the Council on Aging?
I was in the Fire Prevention Bureau, and there was a couple of fires that we had some injuries to some older people over 65, and one death back in, I want to say it was 2012. 2012. The years go by. And I started thinking that maybe we could do something for the seniors, putting smoke detectors in their homes. So with the Council of Aging and the help from the grant department, we wrote a grant in 2014. We were able to get some federal money, and we started doing the program, installing smoke detectors on the homes of people who were 65 or older.
And before that, you really did a lot in the school department.
Yes, the SAFE department, the SAFE program, the SAFE program has been in service in Massachusetts since 1996, and I joined right away. I thought that was a nice little program. It started off small, working with the kids. Usually we work with kindergartners through third graders, teaching the kids fire safety. So SAFE acronym is Student Awareness of Fire Education. That's the acronym. And since the seniors, now it's just Senior SAFE. But yeah, it started with the children, and it's been a great program. We have a lot of great guys that work in the program.
And one of the nice things that we like about that is that you sort of have adapted that program and jumped right in, and we got you hook, line, and sinker.
Right.
Once we got you for
I
a
can't
minute,
take credit for that. The
that's
state,
it.
the Massachusetts, the Department of Fire Services really got the ball rolling on the senior SAFE. I think they were thinking the same thing I was thinking. We had seen through newscast and obviously from their department that the seniors were getting injured and sometimes even killed in fires, a lot of times without working smoke detectors in their homes. So they adapted the Children's SAFE program to connect with the seniors. So like I said, I can't take credit for that, but I'm with them.
But you were aboard right away. But it really has been a great way to adapt. And do you want to tell us a little bit about the Senior SAFE and what do you teach the seniors?
Oh, sure. Well, the Senior SAFE program obviously is to keep people safe from the effects of fire. We added a bunch of different things, but some stats for you, Cindy, from 2014 that the DFS, Department of Fire Services, older adults age 65 above account for 14% of the population, but 26% of the fire deaths.
Wow,
so
that's startling.
That's in 2014, and I'm sure the stats for 15 are going to come out very closely to that.
Wow.
Hopefully we can decrease some of those numbers. Electrical fires, leading cause of fire deaths in older adults, it's amazing. Cooking fires, the leading cause of injuries to older adults in fires in the home. So that's 30% of fire injuries that seniors get injured in the whole state. 30% of fire injuries for older adults is from cooking.
That's huge. That's a huge number.
Yes, there's a lot of issues with the seniors that you don't realize, and I think we're starting to shed some light on what the problem is, and hopefully this program will do its job.
And some of the recommendations, I know we just had you to the breakfast, and we do try to get you out a couple of times a year to talk about this, because we can't get it in and emphasize enough how important it is to have safety in the home. Mm-hmm. Tell us some of the things that you get the most questions about.
There's a myriad of questions that we do get, but a lot of times it'll be the smoke detectors. It will be the do I need them? When should I change the batteries? Things like that. Obviously we tell them you have to change the batteries twice a year. We really would rather not have people age 70 or so standing on ladders, changing batteries. We try to get out there and help them, or maybe you can get some other help from family members or somebody like that. But we do a lot of that, cooking, paying attention to your stove, not putting all the plugs in the one outlet and the old octopus that's sticking on the electrical outlet, running, we call them zip cords in the fire service. They're those cheap electrical extension cords that you use. They'll stick them under their rugs and wrap around. I have many homes I've gone into and seen many extension cords everywhere they want to put them, and that's a danger. Having working smoke detectors, carbon monoxide alarms is a real big problem. Another stat is that non-working smoke alarms accounted for 15% of the senior fire deaths in 2014.
And that's not, I mean, it's an alarming number, but what I see when I go into homes is I'll see their smoke detectors hanging down, and I'll say, what happened? Oh, I hit it with my broom because it was going off. Sure. And they've never put a new battery in it because we don't want them climbing, and they don't climb. And it's just been hanging there. It's like, why don't you call somebody?
And
it was beeping,
it's
driving
been beeping
them crazy.
for 3 weeks, and now it's not beeping anymore. Well, guess what? It's not beeping because the battery is dead, so you have no working smoke alarm.
Or they've hit it with a broom.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
That's a popular one, to hit it with a broom. So what are the best things that they can do in the kitchen to be safe?
Okay, so you're in the kitchen, you want to be safe. Obviously, you have to attend your pots and pans. You want to make sure that you're not going to watch TV and taking off and letting it cook, or leaving the home. You want to have, most importantly, and we emphasize this obviously, is working smoke detectors in your home. If you do leave the kitchen for any reason, or you're doing something else, if there's a fire, you want to be alerted. If there's smoke, you want to be alerted. If you do have a fire in your kitchen, please, the first thing you want to do is not to panic. I tell that to everybody. I tell that to the little kids, the first graders. If you don't panic, things will work out if you just try and keep your head clear. If it's a grease fire in a pan, you put a lid on it. You remember the program we had, put a lid on it from the state. Put a lid on it. Just put a lid on it and call the fire department. Don't touch it. Don't try to move it. Don't try to throw it in your kitchen sink. Put a lid on it. Call the fire department. We'll come and we'll help you.
Because that's the worst thing that could happen. Now they're moving the fire. I did learn that from you.
Happens a lot.
Right.
You have a nice contained grease fire in a pan, and the first instinct is, let's get some water on it. I'll throw it in the kitchen sink. Now it's hot, it's grease, it's not going to go out with water. You have to cover it to get rid of the oxygen in the fire. They'll throw it in the sink, it will go to the cabinets, and you'll have a little kitchen fire going. So we don't want that. So just put a lid on it, call the fire department.
And always call the fire department.
Call the fire department. That's what we get paid for, Cindy.
Exactly.
Call the fire department.
And I was really amazed at the response time. We have to call 911 a lot, and within 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes, you're going to get somebody from the fire department.
It seems like
the one thing in life, you're going to call 911 in Somerville, and the fire department's going to show up at your home.
Absolutely.
So call the fire department. That's what the city pays us for. So.
And it's fast, and I know it sounds like it's a long time while you're waiting, but it really is a fast time that you get there and respond.
I'm always amazed that I hear, especially for some reasons, the seniors more, they say, well, I'm so sorry to bother you. No, it's not a bother. It's my job, and it's the guys and girls that I work with, it's their job. They're not bothered by it. We'll be there. Call the fire department.
And what about having a fire extinguisher in the kitchen?
Fire extinguisher in the kitchen's great. You know what? If you can operate it, if you have the means, the know-how to operate it, that's a great thing to have. I have one in my kitchen. Everybody should have one in their kitchen. A fire extinguisher that works on grease fires and electrical fires. Not a water extinguisher. You don't want that. But having a fire extinguisher that works on those type of fires is great. If you don't know how to use it, there's ways to find out. You can go through us. I do a little class on fire extinguishers also. We have that acronym PASS: pull, aim, spray, sweep. Pull the trigger, aim it, spray it, and sweep across. And now, if you do use a fire extinguisher in your kitchen, do us a favor. Don't forget to call us.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to make sure the fire's out. So call us again. You may try to put the fire out, and you may think it's out. Please call the fire department.
And that should be the first call anyways.
You start with 911, you start with a call the fire department.
And if you're calling from a cell phone,
yes,
please make sure that you're saying Somerville, because it goes where?
Yeah, well, As far as I know now, and it could be wrong, but it goes to the Foxborough Barracks, I believe, the State Police Barracks. It will get rerouted through there. It may have changed as we speak, but it gets rerouted. It's not a problem. It's 2 seconds. It will get rerouted to the 911 center in Somerville. And if it's a fire situation, it will be rerouted right to us. It's very quickly. It will get rerouted to you, and you'll just stay on the line, and you'll get us.
Great.
So if you call 911 from your cell, you'll get the fire department.
We're definitely going to get you up there to do that the fire extinguisher class,
Sure.
because I think that's important.
I think that's a great idea.
It's a great idea. Thank you. This is the time you get your pen and paper. We'll be right back because the counter event is coming up. Welcome back. We have so many wonderful events happening with spring and summer, and we're already talking about New York City in November and Christmas events. So before you know it, I know we're thinking about snow this weekend, but before you know it, summer's going to be here, and we're going to be fussing about the heat, and then winter will be back, but we have a lot of great events. There's so many terrific things, and I do want to remind everybody about our nutrition fair that we're having in May. We hope to see you. We have a couple of special wellness programs, the Memorial Day Parade. Brian Bishop, who's our Commissioner of Veteran Services, has a wonderful plan for the parade this year, so you'll be very excited. We're back here with Captain Mike Anzalone from the Somerville Fire Department, and Tower 1 is at Lowell Street.
Lowell Street Station.
So you're nice and close to us. You can come and visit. Right in the middle of the city, you can get to any of the senior centers.
Yeah, we love it down there.
We're happy about that. So Mike, we talked a little bit about the statistics, and I know that on the news, the fire president of the union was on, and the commissioner for they don't call him commissioner, but
this is fire commissioner.
Fire commissioner.
Yes,
okay, so the commissioner of the Massachusetts has been talking a lot
State Fire
about
Marshal.
State Fire Marshal. Thank you. Okay.
Commissioner is Boston.
That's what I was thinking about. State Fire Marshal. So he was on talking about how many deaths there have been for elderly people.
Ooh, yes.
And it's been really, the numbers there's been a big uptick.
Yes.
And his concern was no smokes, no carbon monoxide, fire safety, which we just talked about in the kitchen. So let's talk about, we had a very successful program 2 years ago. Let's talk about that program first.
Okay, so in 14 we mentioned that we got a federal grant, and we Copioids put together a whole bunch of names and people who needed smoke detectors in their home, and we were able to get smoke detectors. I think it was in excess of 400 installed smoke detectors in the city for the seniors. We reached over 100 households. The members on our team did a fantastic job, and I think the public got their money's worth. Through the grant department, we were able to secure the money to purchase all the equipment, the smoke detectors, the manpower, And it was a great program that I think worked well, and we were lucky enough to get it again through some hard work. Kate Harkey in the grant writing department did some hard work, and we're going to kick off another program that's going to mirror the one we just did. We may add a couple of things, a couple of safety items. I was thinking about doing a couple other things for the seniors when we're in the home. And I think it's going to work very well again. Now that people know about it from the first program, I think it will be very popular.
Well, we already have a waiting list, and we're definitely going to do it. So let's talk about the first thing they have to do is to get in touch with us, and we're able to do a very quick, we changed the application process. So basically we need to know your name, your address, your telephone number.
That's it.
And pretty much that's it.
Yes, it's
go ahead.
If you live in the home, it's a 1 or 2 family. You have to be of age. 65 or older was the age requirement. As long as you live in the home, it's 1 or 2 families. We're unable to do 3 families or above because you get into hardwired electrical systems, and we're not going to be able to handle that. So for singles and 2-family homes, anyone that lives in the home that's 65 or older can apply through you guys. Absolutely.
And it is such an easy, quick process. And we do want to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, no matter what you think, if you're eligible, you're not eligible, call us.
Right.
Because we want to get as many smoke detectors and CO. And what is it? Combination?
Sure. We should
talk
about that. The equipment is different now than the old days. You just had a smoke detector, a smoke alarm. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a very, very real issue that we're having real problems with in the state and nationwide, actually. Carbon monoxide is you can't see it, smell it, you can't taste it, you wouldn't know it's there, but it will kill you just the same. To be blunt about it, you have to be very careful with carbon monoxide. So now you have to have a carbon monoxide detector on every level of the home, including the basement. And why in the basement? Because, Cindy, the heating systems and everything else are down there, right?
And a lot of people have their washer and dryers down there.
If you have a gas dryer, you could have carbon monoxide leaking from that. So when you have a combination carbon monoxide detector, smoke detector, it will speak to you now. We're so sophisticated that it will tell you that the carbon monoxide level is high. It will even give you a reading. So if you're looking at the smoke alarm going off and you're saying, why is it going off? It's going to tell you why. It's going to say carbon monoxide. You don't want to be in that home if there's carbon monoxide in the home. You want to get some fresh air, get outside, and what do we want to do? We want to call the fire department. We have all the technology, we have all the meters, we can come out, we can check for it. We'll contact the gas company for you, we'll contact whoever we need to contact, and to keep you safe. So carbon monoxide is a real issue, and that is part of the program. We're going to have plenty of carbon monoxide detectors to install in the homes.
Interesting. We talked about this at the breakfast this past month, and one of the seniors said, well, I keep my window open a little bit. Am I okay? And your response was?
Yes. No. You're not. That was humorous, but, you know, that's not uncommon. People think like that. They think if they keep their window open a little bit, and if you have any carbon monoxide in the home, it'll escape. No, it won't. Carbon monoxide will mix with the air. It won't go up or down or sideways. It will mix with the air in the home. And what it will do is it will replace your red blood cells with carbon monoxide cells. It will take up your blood, and you won't know it until you pass out, and bad things can happen.
About a year ago, we went to a home. We were doing a safety check, and the minute we opened the door, you know, he kept his house so tight. Locked up. It wasn't a window open. We barely kept the door. Everything had tape over it.
That's not uncommon.
I could smell the minute I walked in, and immediately called the fire department and got NSTAR out there. And it was a little tiny pinhole in the hose in the back of his stove. Everybody said was it was gas that was coming out, but he was so used to it that it just built up and built up in his body. And if we hadn't caught it when we had, the whole block could have blown. And it was row houses. So if his house went, everybody, you know. So, and again, not a single working smoke detector. And the best thing was I was able to call you immediately and said, please tomorrow, get in this house. And you
Yes.
did,
Yes,
so
we did.
thank you.
Sure.
You saved those folks.
Gas leaks not uncommon in some of these older stores that they have. We don't have the equipment to install to monitor gas. We have the equipment on the trucks to monitor gas. So if you smell the gas, that's why the gas company puts the Captain in the gas. You smell
Yep.
it smells like rotten eggs. Everybody knows what
Yep.
natural gas smells like. Please, if you smell natural gas in your home,
Call you immediately.
get yourself out of call 911 and get yourself out of the house.
Or take your cell phone and call.
Exactly.
While you're running,
Yeah,
run
exactly.
quickly.
You should not be in the home with natural gas.
So tell us what the equipment is going to look like. Is it just something really small that you put up?
Sure, it's
nothing
a
humongous?
common smoke alarm. You look at it like every other one that we have in the home, and what we'll do is we'll take down the old ones. You know, after 10 years, you should replace them anyways. If anybody doesn't know that's out there, after 10 years, it's a mechanical piece of equipment. It doesn't last forever. It's just like any other mechanical piece of equipment. They break down just like anything else. They're always on. Remember that they're always on. So if they're always on, it gets a lot of work.
That's right.
So after 10 years, it's time to retire them and get new ones and get the updated version. They're more sensitive. They may be much better than what you have. So it's a common smoke alarm. We'll install them. We have it'll be somebody, maybe not me, but somebody like me will come out to you and give you a little presentation and tell you where they belong and check your old ones and check your batteries and install them. And we'll have another firefighter with a ladder that will come and take care of everything. And in the meantime, we'll do a little bit of a home check. This is not for all the seniors who may think this is a home inspection. It is not. I'm not there to get anybody in trouble. We're not going to be talking to another department saying we got to do this or that. We're just out there to keep you safe. So we will go through the home. I will go through. One of our members will go through the home. Look for trip hazards. That happens a lot. Look for extension cord problems that we want to correct, and we'll help you do that. I'm hoping to get some night lights to give out when we get to the home, so we can place some night lights in the areas that you may want to use instead of having all your lights on. We will check as much as we can to keep you safe before we leave.
It's so important, all the things you just talked about. And there was so many questions. I was really happy that so many of the seniors were interested and concerned about this.
Very.
And one of them was, can I call you just for battery? You may not have the time for battery, but we do want that call because there may be something else.
Right.
One of the ones we installed last year immediately started talking to it, saying
if there's anybody out there
something.
that had an issue that when we did the first one, please contact Council Agent. We'll make an appearance at the home. I cannot promise everybody that I'll come out every year to replace their batteries. Some people have to do their own business.
Exactly.
I understand that. Wait, you put this in last year, it's beeping. Well, yeah, you need a new battery. We tried. Cindy, you may like this one, and it may help us, is I ordered 10-year smoke detectors this time around.
Awesome.
So there is an issue because a 10-year smoke detector may stay up for 20 years, all right? So you need to remember that down the road it may have to be replaced.
We're going to put them on a database so
That'll
that
be
in
perfect.
7 years we're going to call
There
you and
go.
say,
Guess what? It's time
it's time to
Excellent.
start thinking about a
Excellent.
new.
But the detectors that we're putting in, both the carbon monoxide and the smoke alarms, will be 10-year no batteries, so they're replaceable. They're throwaways. After 10 years, out they go, get another one.
Get another one. That's
All
great.
right.
That's great.
So-
We have a minute left, and I just want to talk about specialized smoke detectors that you have for folks who are
Yes.
physically challenged.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about those.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because some people who are physically challenged may have trouble getting out of their home, so they should organize their home as much as they can to make it easier to get out of the home. We have, I ordered a bunch of hearing impaired smoke detectors. They're a wired smoke detector that will flash a light, and they'll do a vibration to notify you of a smoke in the home. Anyone that has that issue, that they have problems with hearing, please contact Council Agent. We can also install those in the bedroom for you. So that's
And
a big
sight
one.
impaired, the shaking of the
The
bed.
shaking, the bed shakers, we
That
have that.
will-
If
that
you have
will
a problem,
really be
yep, we're
of
going to
help.
have anybody with a disability that really thinks that they're still living in their single, their two-family home, they're considering that they need something different than the average smoke detector, should just notify the Council of Aging, tell them what the issues are, and we will do whatever we can to come out and make your home safer.
And we do want to make sure that everybody, if you have a question about it, even if you don't own the home, please contact us. We do not want to hear another tragedy in Somerville. When I hear the news at night and I hear the tragedies across Massachusetts, how they couldn't get out, something's happened. It really makes my heart feel so sad.
Sure.
And that's why it's important we've teamed up with you, and thank you so much. The last one was so successful, and I know this will be just as successful, if not better. Again, we want to thank the first responders and thank all the hard work that you do. We have great respect for you. We're going to close out today's show by hearing the Moonlighters. They've been out entertaining some of the folks across the city. So until next month, enjoy the Moonlighters.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Del Ponte, and welcome to this show of the Moonlighters. We're at the Chatham building of the Clarendon Hill Apartments, across from Stop and Shop that used to be Johnny's. So I can't say come on up because this is taped. So hope you enjoy our little show today. Thank you.
Here we go, guys. Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. Got my plans, got my reservations. Spend time at the Lord, like a child in wild anticipation. I long to hear that all aboard. 7, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up at heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they ought to be close to you on the day that you were born. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkle moon dust in your hair and golden starlight in your eyes of blue. Toot-toot-tootsie, goodbye. Toot-toot-tootsie, don't cry. Choo-choo train that takes me away from you. No words can tell us that it makes me tootsie, and then do it all over again. Watch for the mail, I'll never fail. If you don't get a letter, then you'll know I'm in jail.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our little concert today here at the Chatham building of the Clarendon Hill Apartments. And join us again sometime when you see that the Moonlighters are performing. I'd like to thank my Moonlighters. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. We're the Moonlighters. That means we do this in our extra spare time. We come and we do it. We feel like singing, we sing. We don't feel like singing, we don't sing. We're retired. Well, I'm not. They are. Thank you.